Hey people, it's Steel Gamer, and I want to talk a little bit about something that nobody has bothered mentioning when it comes to the melting issue in the cords and the adapters in the 50 series cards. Now, in order to get my point across, I'm going to bring up Elder Scrolls because I want to put the blame where it actually belongs. And I want to be clear, while there may be a slight legitimate issue, most of these problems are being caused by the user itself. And let me use Elder Scrolls is the example of what I'm talking about here, and then I'll get to my point. All right, so for over the past 10 years, every single time a game that is made by ZeniMax and published by Bethesda, whether it's Fallout, Fallout New Vegas, Elder Scrolls games, whatever, people do the same thing over and over and over with every single game. And despite this pattern being shown to happen, the user never takes responsibility, and it's always ZeniMax's fault or Bethesda's fault. What happens here is every time a game comes out, everybody overloads the game with mods, edits files and everything else to start the modding process, and then the game breaks. And instead of anybody looking at the fact that they broke their game because they started fucking with the file structures, no, it's not that. Never. It's ZeniMax. They gotta fix it and everything else. You fucked with the system by doing something that you clearly don't have the understanding for, and then you blame the game company? No, that's on you. That is the user. And this has been a repetitive pattern over the past 10 years. Every single time a game comes out, the same thing happens. And despite this pattern, it's never the user's fault. So how does that apply to the 50 series card and the melting issue with these cords? Right now, as it stands, all anybody is doing is looking at the cords or the connectors or the adapters, saying, look at how short this is, and if you turn this from the side, you'll see this doesn't go all the way down and everything else. And what gets me is, despite in previous videos, these same people that are in these tech channels have mentioned what I'm about to do, they have not bothered bringing this up to this specific issue. Now again, there may be a small legitimate issue, but I will guarantee you, and I'm going to blame the user for creating this problem. Here's what I'm talking about. Every single person who builds a computer knows never to mix one power supply's cords with another. Even if it's made by the same company, the power cords that come with your power supply are specific to that power supply. Even if it's the same model, you never mix and match the cords. And all of these tech channels have mentioned that in the past. So how does that apply here? Well, as it stands now, I think it's a 12 or 16 pin. I could be wrong. Whatever the deal is, the only company in existence that has made a cord that actually works as an adapter to the power supply and the GPU is Corsair. Corsair has a universal cord that they make that goes with any of their power supplies, that goes with the RTX cards. I know this because I use one. What's happening with all of these cords is nobody is using a compatible cord. It's the equivalency of taking the cords out of one power supply and using them in another. That will create a problem. Not it might, it's going to create a problem at some point because you're not supposed to be doing that. Mixing and matching cords or using third-party cords doesn't work. It causes problems. And I'm going to get people coming at me saying, well, I've never had a problem. I've been doing this for years. Shut the fuck up and stop trying to justify this. Stop mixing and matching cords. And as I stated, if you take a look at what everybody's doing on this, they're utilizing third-party cords. Now, you can say that, people have had problems with, the cords that come with the NVIDIA card. However, I haven't seen a report of the cords that come with the card NVIDIA does having an issue. It's every single person is talking about third-party cords, not made by anybody, that's not even compatible with their power supply. And I don't care if you did it with a previous one. This is not the same thing. Stop mixing and matching cords and start taking responsibility for causing your own problems when you're using those third-party cords. I don't care if it doesn't fit. The third party isn't making them properly to be compatible with anything. If you're going to do anything, use the Corsair official Corsair the official Corsair cord with an official Corsair power supply. Period. Another thing is, people have an 850 power supply unit, and instead of having a 1000 power supply unit, well, you don't need that much. Fuck off then. Deal with the problems. Get at least a 1000 watt power supply if you're going to be using a 50 series card. That's that simple. And stop mixing and matching cords and then blaming the company because, oh, look at this, a cord on fire. Yeah, because you're dumb. Stop mixing and matching cords. And I don't know why any of these fucking YouTubers are not talking about that or even mentioning that at all as a partial problem. Instead, they'll look at the cord. It's just short. Stop using mixing and matching cords. It's that simple. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way because this is getting out of fucking hand. I mean, I've made multiple videos so far, putting the blame where it actually belongs and calling all these people out. And it just astounds me that people continue trying to argue with me. All I'm doing is I'm pointing out facts nobody is looking at. And I've already proven that the frickin' DLSS swapper does shit, and I've explained why. And people like, oh, yeah. I've had people argue with me. I said, put the damn files in your game and do what I just said. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, that doesn't change the fact that that's what's ongoing. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way, and that's it. If there's more stupidity, I'm just going to call it out. So Steel Gamer signing out. Have a good one. Have a good day and night wherever you are. Later.